Have you seen that viral video of a Chinese national beating the hell out of a Kenyan man in Kenya? Shocking. The video has gone viral. Everybody's talking about it. People are angry to see a Chinese national beating the hell out of a Kenyan in Kenya. So apparently, the Chinese national would be the manager or the boss of the company, and for some reason started beating up the Kenyan, kicking him. Look at this.
Mpige kidevu.
Wow. Do you see that? A Chinese national in Africa beating the hell out of an African in front of his co-workers. For whatever reason it is, it's not correct. There's absolutely nothing that justifies such action. Disrespect, lack of empathy, it's very difficult to understand. And this is crazy because people got very angry. I mean, look at the guy. He kept his composure. Try not to move. As the Chinese attacking, he's keeping his composure. He could have punched back, could have done something. I don't know, maybe, was he scared? Maybe thinking that all Chinese are kung fu fighters or karate. I mean, we grew up thinking the Chinese are very strong people. Was he maybe afraid, thinking that the Chinese guy would beat him really bad if he had to retaliate? Or maybe was he just composed, just compose himself and keep himself together? Because, what do? Do you beat your manager and lose your job forever? Thinking about all the difficulties at home. Maybe he's got a family to look after, children he sends to school through this job. What choice do you have besides saying, boss, I'm sorry, boss, I still need my job? Well, later on, we saw another video emerge of the same man saying he's forgiven the Chinese boss. He say, I forgive him. It's okay. We can still work together. Watch it.
Bado nataka nifanye kazi hapa because nilimtoa bosi kuja kufanya hapa kazi. Next time kama kuna shida aniti tuongee kwa ofisi.
So you can, let me stop right there. You can clearly see that somebody's asking him, so do you forgive him? Somebody holding the camera said, do you forgive him? Clearly the intention was to publish this video again because the first video pushed people into reacting. The first video got Kenyan very angry, not just Kenyans, Africans in general. Now you needed another video to put on a very same platform to show to the world that the guy has actually forgiven his boss. Let's continue. So if I have a problem, I will accept or I will recognize my issue. What he's trying to say is what, in the future, if I do something wrong, I will acknowledge the wrong that I have done. I just want to continue working. Does this look like a genuine talk to you? Or does it look like, okay, you need to do this or you're going to lose your job? Or you better do this because you're going to lose your job. Let's continue.
He's my boss and he will remain my boss ever.
I think you understand what I'm saying. We have a Chinese man, opening companies in Africa, but not respecting Africans. Look, Chinese in general don't respect Africans. I'm sorry, okay? Why do I say that? Because a lot of data supports the argument. Many Chinese come to Africa, open business, make money through Africans, employ Africans, but don't respect Africans. Do they see Africans as inferior beings? Question mark. This is not the first time we see something like this. Things like this happen a lot. Look at the map. This is Kenya right here, okay? Let's go to Zimbabwe. This is Zimbabwe. See Zimbabwe? In Zimbabwe, in October 2025, at a gold mine in Mukoto, okay, a Chinese national named Shin Jun-yu, 43 years old, allegedly shot and unalived a Zimbabwean worker, a man named Fungai, 36 years old. So a Chinese man, 43, unalived a Zimbabwean man. Why? Because the Zimbabwean man was asking for his pay. The man has been working, he needs to be paid. There were arrears in his pay. The Chinese man pulled his gun and unalived the person. Now, how did people find out? They found out the very next day when the four Chinese nationals were trying to go and dispose of the body. So the people around the neighborhood found them and they arrested them. Then they called the police. So somebody worked for you, you don't want to pay him. The right way you pay him, you unalive them. That's Chinese for you. It's not the first time. This is not the first time. Let's go to Zambia. You see Zambia, right? This is Zambia. Well, in Zambia, we have situations where there was a moment where Chinese people kept Zambians into captivity. The Zambians were working for the Chinese, and it was during COVID. And at that time, they refused the Zambians to go back to their homes and their families. They kept them at work for about 2 weeks in a row. working for 2 weeks, not going back home. Why? Because the Chinese people say that the Zambians, if they go home, they're going to bring COVID at work. And look at this mayor. This is the mayor of Zambia, I believe Lusaka at the time. He went to see the Chinese and confronted them about it. Watch this guy.
My name is Mausa, I'm the mayor of Lusaka.
Okay.
Your workers have called me that you don't allow them to go home. So I want to find out why you kept them for 2 weeks. And we've seen where they sleep. Why is that so? Why don't you allow them to knock off?
No, no, we're not allow them to go home because the corona issue.
The corona issue?
Yes, we need to take care of them and the country,
How about their wives? Who take care of their wives? Don't you know it's wrong to stigmatize? You understand what stigmatize? Someone who's not sick and to keep them against their will. Anyway, it's illegal. Stop it. This corona came from where? It came from Wuhan, isn't it? From China. So between you and them, who is more likely to bring coronavirus to this environment?
So you can see the mayor pushed pressure and said, why do you keep these people here? Why do you treat them like animals? This is unacceptable. This is Zambia. So the mayor was trying to do the right thing, right? Trying to protect Africans' interests. You know what happened to him later? They fired him. Somebody in a higher position got him fired. Why? Because Zambia profits greatly off China. Yes, Chinese has put a lot of investment in China. In 2025 alone, we have about $3 billion coming from China to Zambia. I mean, Zambia is a small China. I mean, you don't want to say it that way, but that's the truth. They have created about 50,000 jobs in Zambia. And in Zambia, you find schools where they speak Chinese, okay? School program where they speak Chinese. I think there's 2 main schools where they speak Chinese in Zambia. Well, people speak English as well. I mean, French in some places. Is it wrong if it's Chinese? Question mark. But that's the reality, so you can understand what's happening in Zambia. Zambia has a lot of investment coming from China. So a Chinese man in Zambia has a lot of power, okay? And it's not just Zambia. In many African countries, unfortunately. I mean, in Kenya, for instance, there was a Chinese man that insulted the president. How did he get to that? He said to his workers, I don't like black people. I don't like black people because you smell and you thieves. So how come you don't like black people, but you here? Yeah, the guy is insulting black people. Listen to him.
Diverting your anger to me.
Really?
Yeah, it's like you are punishing me.
Because you're Kenyan.
So you are punishing me because I'm...
Everyone, every Kenyan, even Anna. This is all the Kenyans. Like a monkey. Even Uhuru, Kenyatta. All of them.
It's like a monkey.
Yeah, sure.
The president of this country.
Yeah, sure. You can go to court and tell me who has the evidence.
Whatever you are doing is extremely wrong.
I don't care.
You don't care.
I don't belong to here. I don't like here. Like a monkey people. I don't like. Talk with them. Smell is bad. And poor. And foolish. And black. Who like them? Why not the bright people? Like the American?
Then why are you coming to do business in Kenya if we are poor, we are black, for money? Why is it that you need our money?
Money is important.
Money is important.
Sure. Why not?
But why don't you go and look for money from the fellow whites?
The man gets to insult the president of a republic of an African country. They've asked him, even the president smells. Well, guess what happened to him? They've kicked him out. Okay, they've kicked him out of the country. Kenya don't play. They've sent it back to China. Now that's the situation in Africa. Now this Chinese national that's beat his Kenyan employee has faced tremendous amount of pressure because Kenyans don't play, my brother. Okay, the Commission of Workers, I believe it's called the KOTU of Kenya. It's the body that takes care of workers. Okay, have asked for this man to be deported back to China. And also another Chinese employee who employs Kenyans and forces them to sing in Chinese 3 times a day. Yeah. A Chinese man's got a company in Kenya, employs Kenyans and forces Kenyans to sing in Chinese 3 times a day to humiliate them. You know, telling them that they're stupid through the songs and stuff like that. So KOTU, which is the Kenyan Commission of Workers, have asked the government to deport both these people. This Chinese person that beat this worker and that owner of that company that makes Kenyan workers sing in Chinese 3 times a day. I think it's very interesting to see. I mean, we don't have nothing wrong with Chinese, but if you go to a place, you need to respect that place. You know how Chinese treat people in their country if you do anything wrong. Let's just get back to the story of Zimbabwe, where the guy went and asked for his pay. He said, my pay has not been paid into my account. Can I get paid? And the guy pulled the gun on him and shot him. Then later on, they said he was a gangster. We shot him because he was a gangster. Now, my question is, even if he was a gangster, is it for you to shoot him or for you to cut the police to get him arrested? You think he's a gangster. Is it your duty, you as a Chinese national, to shoot the local guy because you think he's a gangster? Did he try to shoot you? I mean, to what level do you get humiliated? Again, like they always say, the hand that gives is always above the hand that receives. You need to stop being a beggar. And this is exactly what Ibrahim Traore and Thomas Sankara before him used to fight for. You need to stop begging. It's the begging. When you beg from a country, you ask them, you plead to them. They start seeing you like animals. In the DRC, there was a moment where a Chinese guy got very angry at his worker. He pulled a knife and he started running crazy in the market and everybody ran away from him. Even the police was scared to stop this guy. In DRC, this country, right, the police was scared in Kinshasa, scared to stop the Chinese guy who had a knife. Do you think you can run with a knife as a black man in a Chinese town? While you're running, everybody's running away from you because they're scared of you, shirtless. You're going to get stopped very quickly. Well, African countries are interesting. They're similar and very different at the same time. There's one African country that doesn't accept nonsense like that. It's this country right here, Rwanda. In Rwanda, there was a situation where Chinese nationals arrested the local for not doing his job appropriately, and they beat him up. We were not going to put the B-roll here because we're going to get flagged. So the worker apparently didn't do his job appropriately. I think he worked at a mine or something like that, something manual. They took him, tied him against a tree and beat the living hell out of him. While the government arrested the Chinese and they put him in jail for 20 years. They don't play over there. Rwanda is one of those countries where you don't play. Okay, in many African countries, a person from the US, a person from Europe can go and overstay with no visa for a long time. Even when the police stops him, there's nothing the police can do against them. Not in Rwanda, my brother. They will send you back if you're lucky enough. If you're not lucky, they put you in jail first for some time before they send you. They don't play over there. They'll remind you that you're just another human being. Because, yeah, we need to put it out there. In most African countries, they treat Europeans and white people differently in the way they treat black people. They can do the very same crime. They can all be illegal, but the way they're going to treat a fellow African for overstaying compared to the way they will treat a French person or a Belgian person, very different. You need to know the truth. I'm always going to tell you the truth. Okay, so when people bring China, Lebanon, Pakistan to books, we like and appreciate that. Why we not? Because we hate them. Because it shows that you are treating people the way they should be treated based on things they are doing, not based on their colors. And there's no way other country will respect you if in your country you don't respect yourself. When a Chinese comes into your country and beat people up and you just look and watch him, I mean, how do you expect them to treat you nice? It's the same way if you're in your country, they treat you like trash. How do you go to other people's countries and say, treat me nice? It doesn't make sense. Let me know how you feel about this. It was a great pleasure. God bless.